Slaven Bilic and West Ham will dominate the headlines after this one, but take nothing away from Liverpool in their last 3 games. Scored 9, conceded just 1. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, with his first Premier League start, got a goal. 2 for Mo Salah. They're both with Des.
Thank you.
You knew it was always going to be like this.
Thanks, the crystal ball at home is working well. Good day at the office for Liverpool.
Yeah, very good. I think you've got to give credit to the manager. With his tactics and his formation today, surprised everyone going for a 4-4-2. But what it did is it gave Liverpool a solid base. The 2 full-backs were very disciplined. I thought Emre Can and Gini Wijnaldum were superb protecting the back 4. And what it did is it gave licence to Mo Salah, to Oxlade-Chamberlain, to Mane and Firmino to go and cause West Ham a lot of problems. And that's what they did with the power, with the pace, with how direct they are. This Liverpool team at the moment is, because they've got that many artists in the team, the full-backs don't need to go. They can stay, and you can play with two sitting midfielders. And that makes you more secure, certainly away from home. And I thought today they looked a lot more solid defensively.
Yeah, I think the security was a great thing from. I think Stephen's completely right. And talking about Mo Salah, been possibly the signing of the summer with his form so far, and it gave him a little bit more freedom to be around the front man, to be more central. And I've loved him on that right-hand side cutting in, but all of a sudden you see his second goal scored from the left-hand side. So you start giving a player who's that confident and that good, that freedom, then he can be even more dangerous.
Well, let's take a look at what I guess was the key minute from that second half, and it was Liverpool conceding and straight away scoring again. It's been a great week, hasn't it, for Joe Gomez, but he might not want to see this one too many times.
No, he won't, but he'll certainly learn from this. You know, he's a young player. He's been out for a long time, coming back from injuries, and it's moments like this where he'll grow and improve. But he does need to be a bit stronger at the back post. But credit to Lanzini, he gets in, and it's a lovely, delicate finish at the back post.
I think he's a very good young player, you know, and well, don't you?
He was good today.
Yeah, I think he played really well. He just sort of, his body shape there slightly wrong. He ends up backing off 3 or 4 steps, and once you do that, you haven't got really the balance, or you can't get any jump on it, and then obviously he gets beaten at the far post.
And this was a real blow for West Ham, wasn't it? But no press again.
Well, you score, you're 2-1, you're back in the game. If Chicharito makes that press earlier, he doesn't give them that comfort and time on the ball. I mean, this from Firmino is fantastic. Whether he meant exactly that touch, but he swiveled so quickly onto it, that opens the play. Oxlade-Chamberlain going to give him great confidence this scoring in this game. Unlucky a little bit for Joe Hart, but he buries the rebound.
Did he mean the touch when he got that turn, Stephen? What do you think?
Knowing the player and being lucky enough to have played with him on a couple of occasions, I think he does mean it. He has got that silk, he has got a lovely touch, and that's what Liverpool are about. He comes short, and then he gets runners in behind him. I thought he was terrific as well.
Well, let's talk then about Mo Salah. He's now scored 12 in 17 this season. Again, he was brilliant today. How different is he to the player that you would have known pretty well at Chelsea?
Oh, he's come on a huge amount. I mean, he was a pretty young. I think the move came quite early in his career into a club like Chelsea, not easy. And he was up against Hazard, Oscar, Mata, I think was around in his early days. So it was tough for him to come in and play. And he was probably quite not ready for it. The good thing for him is he went away, and he's come on leaps and bounds.
What was he missing in his game then that he's now found?
Probably confidence and a bit of personality. As a young player, that's normal. But he had the speed and he had the touch. He never played enough either to try and get himself into the team. But he is a different player to what it was at Chelsea, and it's complete credit to him for that. Too
much space again, though.
Too much space. I mean, the touch and the finish is right out of the top drawer. But West Ham are all over the place. You know, Koyate, who's a centre midfielder. It's harsh to criticise him because he's playing out of position, but you can't give top players that amount of space and time, especially with the ability of Mo Salah in front of goal.
And he talked about his crystal ball. He's trying to claim that he knew it would be this good when he came to Liverpool. I remember we were messaging at the start of the season when he first signed, and you were the same. You said, you think he's a really exciting addition to the team.
Well, as a fan, you sort of... I've watched him a lot of Chelsea, and it didn't really take off for him when he was a Chelsea player. Of course, he hit real top form over at Roma, but you're thinking, is he a player suited to the Premier League? And when he first come, I, along with a lot of Liverpool fans, wasn't totally sure how it was going to work, but you've got to give the manager and the recruitment staff at Liverpool a huge amount of credit for spending that amount of money on a player who it hasn't worked out for before in the Premier League. But he's come in and he's been absolutely top drawer this season. He's been Liverpool's best player by a mile.
And also Klopp is managing to find these answers in midfield, isn't he, to try and absorb this number of creative attacking players and keeping everybody happy, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's a balancing act, isn't it? I think it remains that throughout. Lallana, we don't even talk about him because he's been out for a while, but what a fantastic player he is to come back as well. Coutinho missing today, so he's got so many options there. You know, we'll go back to the old argument of did they deal with the defensive problems? But in terms of midfield and what they've got, and it was a creative force. When Liverpool were on their game, they were as good as anyone in the Premier League to watch.
It was the 2 goals separated by just 3 minutes in the first half that did all the damage. While we take a look at the goals again, where do you see this Liverpool team now sitting compared to the best in the league? The Cities, the Spurs?
Well, I think, as Frank said, on the eye, going forward with the pace and the power and the amount of exciting players they've got in the midfield and the forward positions, they're certainly up there with the top players in the league. I think the thing is, for Liverpool, they've got to get that balance right and find a little bit more consistency. And I think if they get the base right, the defensive base, they're always going to cause teams problems. They're always going to score heavily. But the key to it, and what Liverpool will get out of the season, is can they defend better? Can they find more consistency as a defensive unit?
What do you think, Frank?
Yeah, no, the same as Stephen. I mean, listen, in all honesty, I think to win the Premier League is going to be a tough ask. It is for pretty much everyone other than Manchester City, as you look at it now. But in terms of the top 4, I thought it was a big result for them today to stay in touch and right up there, because, of course, they can finish in the top 4. And I think they're building. One thing I like about Klopp is he's into his players. He wants to improve what he's got. He wants to play the right way. Do they need to go, right, we're going to make that move that Cities and the Manchester United and spend that money on certain players?
What do they need
to take him? Well, centre-halves, for me. You know, they have to address...
We'll go back in for Van Dijk?
And a goalkeeper, for me.
You still think they need a goalkeeper as well?
Well, I think there's still a question mark over who's their goalkeeper, rather than saying this is our main man, and that always brings a bit of kind of inconsistency.
What about for you? What moves them onto that next level?
As I've just mentioned, I think improving defensively, being that little bit more solid, that little bit more hard to play against out of possession. I think going forward they're a match for anyone. And I think Klopp is really working hard. As you can see today, he's tweaked the formation and the personnel. And I thought he looked a lot better defensively today. And as a fan, I've got confidence that he will improve them. And knowing Liverpool and being a player there for many years, they will, if they see a player that will improve them, whether it be defensively or anywhere in the squad, they'll go and make the move. And
by the way, some shift, wasn't it, from a man who's been out for the last 5 games as well?
He's awesome.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's great to watch. I'm not saying it from a biased point of view. He's the type of player you'd go and pay big money to go and watch every single week, because he's great on the eye. He's so quick. He makes things happen. And for someone so quick and the speed that he does it, to have the touch and the finesse that he shows for the first goal and also for the second assist, it's world class. So
Sadio Mane is back. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain starting games. Liverpool scoring hatfuls of goals. Brilliant day for the visitors. I'm afraid the same can't be said for the home team. And look at this. This is the fans streaming out while the game was still going on. We will talk about Slaven Bilic and West Ham next. How significant is this blow for Bilic? Let's find out. He's talking to Des.
Thank you.
It's hard to watch that in some ways. I mean, that is the epitome of a defeated-looking man, isn't it?
He's a good man. As I say, I know Slaven. He's an honourable man, and he's speaking from the heart a bit there. He's obviously down. He cares, as we spoke about before the game, and it's a difficult situation. I think clarity is going to have to be important now. We can't tell the board or the owners what to do here. That's their decision, but as Stephen mentioned earlier, I think you can't hang around now. You either back him and back him solidly, or you make the decision. He's waiting for that, by the way he's speaking now.
That's what it sounded like. It was that he was going to be the one to instigate a conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But, you know, if the players showed as much passion, desire and care that this man does, they wouldn't be in this position, and they wouldn't be putting in performances like they did today. It was sad, that interview, because you can see that it's hurting him and that he's a good footballing man, and you know, it's the world we live in. Yeah, managers get the blame and eventually get the sack, but it's not fair, because big players and a lot of players are letting this man down.
Can we just talk about this then? Because as a football fan, I would watch a game of football involving my team and simply not understand if my players who are paid to play football showed, what did you say at half-time, no passion, no desire. How does a football club get to a point where you get that kind of a performance?
He tried to protect them in that interview, and he said, you know, there was effort there and blah, blah. Now, the second half was slightly better than the first half, but if he watches that game back with his staff, he will know quite clear that not enough of his team care enough, not enough of them are showing fight, desire and passion. And if you haven't got them things, it doesn't matter who you are, a manager or a player, you're going to get defeats.
And you can see there, most Premier League goals conceded, not this season, this is since the start of last season, 87 goals. No one's conceded more, and that is the big issue for Slaven Bilic is that this is not a recent problem. This is something that is extending back since the move to this stadium.
Yeah, and to be honest, I look at their players, I look at their team, and I'm not sure where there is for him to go. I mean, in terms of the bench, he's brought on Arnautovic. Andy Carroll maybe is an option to start using now and go, right, we have to use Andy and we have to go a bit direct because he causes teams problems. But if this West Ham team, personnel-wise, if they're not on the edge every game now, on the edge, I mean, as in getting tight and being not passive and getting tight.
They weren't even near the edge, were they?
No, they had about sort of 10 or 15 minutes at the start of the second half. Well, you know, they end up getting one back, and all of a sudden, before that, you think, hang on, they're having a go. You could actually see it. I think there was still more to come, but you could actually see a reaction of some sort. If they don't play on that edge from now on, no matter Slaven Bilic or anyone, Pep Guardiola, doesn't matter. Where they are now, they won't get out of it unless they get on that edge every game.